Hi, I'm Dwight Mihalicz, Chair of ICMCI. Thank you for this opportunity to address you virtually in advance of your conference. I'm just delighted to be there. I have very fond memories of spending time in Kyiv in 2018 when you hosted the EuroHub meetings, and I know many of you at that time. I'm also delighted to have had the experience of working with one of your colleagues, Elena Yuskova, when she was a director of the board of ICMCI for several years while I was also on the board and the treasurer at that time. And thank you to our colleague, Olga Trofimova, who invited me to make this address and who has recently been appointed as the chair of the QAC committee at ICMCI, a very important role, and we're so pleased to have her supporting us in this way. Our vision at ICMCI has never been more relevant. Our vision is to be a leader in the development of management consulting as a global profession that drives social and economic success. So we're more than delivering services to clients and creating profit for clients and creating revenue for ourselves. We're more than that. We want to drive success. We want to ensure that not only are our clients successful, but our communities and our countries and the world is a better place as a result of our efforts. And we're working in very turbulent times. Things are moving at an astounding pace. Remember, in the pre-COVID days, there were a lot of discussions amongst us about the disruptions that were underway, the technological disruptions that were disrupting industries. Think Uber, or think many of the different sectors, film, GPS, cameras that have all been disrupted by technology. Economic disruption was underway. Many economies were slowing down, and all were predicting that, well, almost all were predicting that the global economy was also going to be slowing down and perhaps even headed for recession. And business model disruption. Consumer behavior was changing, new alternatives are coming onto the marketplace, so businesses were being disrupted left, right, and center. And then political disruption. We are living in politically turbulent times. So with the advent of COVID-19 and the global pandemic, this has accelerated the pace of all of these disruptors. Just think of digitization. I know in my own practice as a management consultant, those things that I was doing to move towards virtual assessments and virtual meetings with clients and digitizing some of my offerings has sped up considerably. I know you're in that situation as well. And I know many businesses are really looking hard at how they can react in these changing times. As a result, the future is more unpredictable than it has ever been. So this increases the pace of disruption for us in our own profession of management consulting. It disrupts the way we provide services in our community, and it changes the perception of our clients in terms of how they will obtain consulting services. Clients are changing how they think about consulting in a number of ways. The most fundamental, and this was researched very well in Europe in late 2018 with top 1,000 companies, that clients were feeling dissatisfied with management consulting services. That dichotomy that used to exist, I don't think it does anymore, that used to exist where you had the high-priced strategy consultants. If the head of the company wanted to develop a strategy, or if the head of the company had an issue that they wanted solved, they would just pick up the phone and call in their consultant colleague that they'd worked with previously to ask them to come in to help solve the problem. The second part of the parallel or the twin pillars of consulting was implementing large projects where consultants would be brought in, almost a crew of consultants to implement a major change program in organizations. Clients are finding that there are better ways of moving forward, and they're being much more particular about when they bring in consulting expertise. There's more of a tendency to insource consulting. So we independent consultants are often not getting the business because someone in-house is able to do a lot of that kind of work. And they're feeling that they weren't receiving sustainable support over time. So this brings us to the third model of what I call sustainable consulting, where the client is much more differentiating in who they bring in. They will engage the person for that specialized expertise that they have that can come in, work with them, support them, help identify the root cause of the problem, help put in place the solution, and then work along with the internal team to implement the solution so that it is sustainable over time once the consultant leaves. This model is increasingly important, and many of my colleagues at ICMCI, in fact, I would say a majority of them, are in the situation of being able to take advantage of these solutions because more than ever before, independent practitioners and small and medium-sized consultant firms are able to meet this need. So this really reinforces the importance of a network like ours, a global network of management consultants that can work together, can collaborate together, and can find each other to build projects, to learn from each other, to share best practices with each other, and to deliver services in these new and exciting ways. And we are a strong network. We're 50 strong in terms of the number of institutes that we have in the world. We have over 60,000 management consultant members and 8,200 certified management consultants. This is a tremendous strength. But we do face challenges. As a global profession, it is really important that we continue to grow. So we need to find ways to attract and integrate those new entrants into management consulting, into our industry, into our profession. And that's a challenge. And it's a challenge because the way in which new entrants into our profession, and in fact, new entrants into almost all professions, look at institutes in a very different way than you or I might have. We're members, we're all in the room, so we're members, so we're bought in. We understand the advantage of being in an institute and sharing with and being able to learn from colleagues and to take advantage of membership and certification. But those that are now entering with the availability of knowledge, with the Google search that's right at their fingertips, with the ability to network in different ways, simply don't see the value in the same way that the current generation of management consultants did. So in order to understand this, we have just launched at ICMCI the ICMCI 2020 Onwards Task Force, and we will be meeting with each institute. We will be meeting with you virtually in the not too distant future with the officers of IMC Ukraine to understand from your perspective how membership is going, what is working, what isn't, what are some of the challenges and the pain points that you're facing so that we can brainstorm together and learn from each other and come up with this solution. Why solve the problem 50 times in each of our 50 institutes when we can collaborate together to figure out how it is that we can attract these new entrants, bring them into the fold, affiliate them with them in new and adventurous and helpful ways, and grow our profession in that way. We're also working on a number of other things that are helpful to the profession that I think you would be interested in. There's our ISO 2700 training program, where we have checklist training to integrate people into the profession of management consulting by showing them how they can use the ISO 2700 to contract, develop, deliver, and implement management consulting programs in the ISO 2700 standard. So this is the first level of differentiating between that person who prints a business card that says consultant on it and that person that is serious about being a management consulting professional. The CMC accreditation, of course, is our jewel in the crown. This is the ultimate standard in terms of the management consulting professional. It's not easy to get, nor should it be easy to get, because anyone who is a CMC can have absolute faith anywhere else in the world of working with someone else who has the CMC by knowing that they have the same level of standards, the same adherence to a code of conduct and ethics, and that is understanding of how to do management consulting in a professional way. We launched this year in April after COVID-19 the weekly online seminar series where management consultants for the first time through ICMCI can collaborate with each other from around the world. So we've had a series of excellent topics where we learn from each other, we learn from the best, and we share our experiences so that we're all growing together. After the annual meeting in Nassau, we launched the CMC International Directory, where any CMC from anywhere in the world for a very small fee can be a member of that directory and contact with each other. So any CMC that is interested in broadening their horizon to consult internationally and to collaborate with colleagues in other parts of the world can join that directory. Once we get our critical mass of CMCs registered there, then we can start to promote that with international organizations that will go there to find certified management consultants with international experience. So together we can build projects to support our global clients. So it's been a challenging time in the last few months for all of us because of COVID-19. Who could have predicted that we would have a global pandemic and that it would be so extraordinarily disruptive to all of us? It has accelerated the pace of change. It has turned on a spotlight on our awareness that disruption is coming, disruption is here, and I think disruption is here to stay. So that new normal is not going to be a status quo. We're not going to go back to what it was like before, nor do I think we're going to go into a steady state. The types of disruptions that are coming are going to increase significantly, not necessarily across all sectors at the same time as they have with COVID, but there will be increasingly disrupted. So we as management consultants need to be able to pivot, to stay ahead of that curve, to be ready to support our clients during challenging times, and to think of and to work with them in new ways to support them so that they can be successful, so that we can be successful, and so that together we can continue to be a benefit to our societies and to the economies and the global economy overall. So big shoes for us to fill, but I know that we are capable of doing that. And it is events like this one where you have conferences bringing the best together to think about these things and to figure out how to do our work even better. So, so my very best wishes to you for every success in this conference, and thank you again for this kind invitation to address you.